Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So we have already discussed about activation functions, like why we need to use activation function in our neural network. That actually we have already discussed. So in this particular video, we'll see like what are the activation functions available for our neural network. So let's see one by one. So first activation function that we are going to discuss is about sigmoid function. So it is a nonlinear nonlinear activation function. It can be called as logistic activation function, or more profound way, sigmoid activation function. So yes, so this is the basic formula, or this is the strategy that we use in sigmoid function, like 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus z. So z is nothing but the input coming from the previous network. That is a linear function. That is your input multiplicative summation of some weight plus some bias, right? So this is your z. So this is your z. This is the z. So this z is passed to the sigmoid function. uh, so the range of the sigmoid function is, as you can see, this is the graph. This is the sigmoid graph that we get. Okay, so it will pass to 0. So 0 to 1. So this is the sigmoid graph. So it ranges from 0 to 1. And also we need derivative, as we have already discussed while doing backward propagation. We need derivative of activation functions and loss function in order to optimize our weight. So this is nothing but the derivative of sigmoid function. So the derivative of sigmoid function basically ranges from 0 to 0.25. And the uh, normal say sigmoid activation function actually it ranges to 0 to 0.1 during so basically you can see this is during the um, forward propagation. And as we use derivative of sigmoid function in the backward propagation, so we use that in the backward propagation, right? That so it ranges to 0 to 0.25. So yes, okay, so let's see some of the um, so I need to discuss about what are the ranges, like why uh, I need to tell you guys it ranges from 0 to 1 or some 0 to 0.25. So when I discussed about activation function, there actually I have told you. So this particular linear function actually can, as it is a multiplicative summation, it can ranges to very large number. S- As this particular neurons are getting this much large number, and if our network layers should be, or the parameters should be very much large, so this value can go much higher. So in order to give certain range or give certain limit, we use sigmoid function. So this sigmoid not sigmoid function, any activation function, it will give certain range. So this sigmoid function is giving that much range. So irrespective of any input that we give to the activation function, it will give output in certain range of 0 to 1, or in backward propagation 0 to 0.5. Okay, so let's see what is advantages of sigmoid function. Okay, so as we already know, so this particular graph, right, this is the sigmoid graph. So the sigmoid graph actually ranges from 0 to 1. So when we need to predict the probability of output, um, suppose we are doing any binary classification, so we need to predict of any particular outcome occurring in the output neuron, right? So yes, actually it helps to give you certain probability that ranges from 0 to 1. So as it will give certain range 0 to 1 value, so it is used when to predict the probability of the output. Since why? why we need to have the probability, since the probability of any particular, like probability of any random value occurring, will be 0 to 1, right? So we already know. So the probability of any value will be 0 to 1. So yes, we can, as the sigmoid function is giving that 0 to 1 probability range, so we can take to, we can take when we need any classification, classify, we need to classify any predictions. Okay, so yes, this is differentiable. So when I discussed about backward propagation, why we need to do the derivative of activation function, why we need to do the derivative of loss function, there actually I have shown you with an example of a sigmoid function doing the derivative of sigmoid function. So this is nothing but the derivative of sigmoid function. Okay, so yes, it is differentiable. So we can find slope of any 2 point. So as so what it means, we can, we can get tangent. So tangent is nothing but the slope, right? So so we can draw any tangent and we can get the derivative out of that particular function. Yes, this is one advantage. And one normal, like it usual advantage that we get, it actually basically non-linearize the data set uh, in the forward propagation. So yes, during the forward propagation, as we are sending this linear input to our activation function, so it provides this type of non-linear graph. So it actually non-linearize the data set in forward propagation. As in forward propagation, we can directly use the activation function. In backward propagation, we need to have derivative, but in forward propagation, we need simple activation function. So yes, it actually in forward propagation, it basically uses to normalize the, no, sorry, used to non-linearize the data set. Okay, let's see about issues. What are the issues of sigmoid activation functions? Okay, so it has vanishing gradient problem. Yes, so I'll talk about that. What is vanishing gradient problem? And it is not zero centered function. Okay, so it has vanishing gradient problem. So what it basically means, like during the backward propagation, we need to have the derivative of sigmoid function, as you guys already know that. So what is the range of the derivative of function? That is 0.25. So if it is 0.25, so during the backward propagation, we need to multiply of those different type of derivatives, right? So here actually we have taken 0.25 as sigmoid function, then another layer also we have taken 0.05, as it is dependent on the previous layer outcome. So it may goes to less than 0.05. Suppose we are multiplying various gradients, as we have various layers. So 0.25, so it will give you 0.25, and it may give you very less than 0.25. Then we are multiplying somewhat 0. Less than 0.25. So with large number of layers, we'll get large number of multiplicative summation of, not multiplicative summation, multiplication of 0.25 and less than 0.25. So this much small value, if we are going to what we're going to multiply, so at the end there is not much, what to say, it will be very much low, very much low value. So it will come approximately about 0. So there won't be any gradient, or there is, like, as there is not any gradient, so gradient becomes 0. So if the gradients become 0, the weight optimization will be 0. Like the previous iteration weight would be same as the next iteration weight. So there will be a vanishing gradient problem. So yes, it is a vanishing gradient problem. So while teaching you for tan h, actually I'll tell you like how we are going to calculate this vanishing gradient problem and what is vanishing gradient problem in more depth. Okay, it is a non-centered. So as you can see, the center of this sigmoid function not passing through the zero. It ranges from 0 to 1. So the center is not 0. So it is a zero centric, it is a zero centric activation function. So why not being a zero centric activation function is bad, let's see. So for it is basically zero centric function. So tan h is zero centric function. I'll tell you when I'll discuss about tan h. So tan h actually passing through the center 0. So if it is if it was a geocentric acquisition function. So while gradient update, sometime it will come close to 0, and sometime it will be very much difference to the 0, much larger to 0. So this actually do there will be much more fluctuation and fluctuation during the gradient optimization, or you can say the weight optimization. So it will actually it takes time, and it is very harder to optimize the weight, as there is much more fluctuation during the um, gradient descent. Gradient descent, what I'm talking to like what I'm trying to say. So it actually, if it is not geocentric, so there will be much more fluctuation during the weight optimization will happen. So yes, it is better to have geocentric activation function. Okay, so this is all about sigmoid function. So yes, thank you guys, thanks for listening.